presentation, it was a really nice case that we, really drawn into that, into the detail, the key messages.
What we found at the company, it was difficult to tell.
My friend, when he did the audit, he clearly stated that these are the requirements of the industry, and he started to all other countries. When we went to the class, we had this in our mind. Everybody was watching specific aspects. So we identified and we brainstormed, and this is our findings from the diagnosis from this several interviews. So for instance, when we went to the company, everybody was speaking with different people in order to get some insights and to observe. Based on that, we did the matrices. The purpose of the matrices, the first one is to state them in terms of the competitiveness and the relevance to the customer, as you already mentioned. The second one, which is important and critical, is it really a distinctive? Does the competitors have it or not? Is it durable? Can be maintained? Can it give us a sustainable competitive advantage or not? So this is our logic behind that.
I understand, but it's difficult to read it.
Yeah.
And another thing, it's only a comment and maybe it's quite important. At the beginning of your presentation, you separated the two countries because you spoke about Russia and you spoke about Poland. And for me, the main conclusion was that they're two different countries. And Russia, you have history, there is Putin, winter is very cold, now Poland failed, do not go there. But Poland looked to be more attractive, that it's a country that is close to Hungary, there are permanent history relationships with two countries, and it's a big country, 38 million people. So at first I saw the conclusion will be that go for Poland, forget Russia, go for Poland. But then you continue the analysis with quarter 5, and the two countries started to disappear. So I found some items about the two countries on the quarter 5 slide, but later they absolutely disappeared, and you gave the company some general recommendations about what to do and what not to do. Because I suppose that all these things, Google search optimization and a few others are relevant in every country nowadays. So it was a little bit understandable that you said no, and it's very important. Yes. So when you pick a strategy, it's important to know what to do and what not to do. But then you make some recommendations. Maybe not understand that if your recommendation is not to go to Poland, not to go to Russia, then why start to think about web analytics and web marketing?
Our logic is that both markets are there. One market is, both markets are difficult to enter because of you need partnership, you need people, you need money. You have limited capabilities and resources now. So do not go there now. So the basis of our recommendation is, first, tomorrow, start hiring a marketing strategist. Utilize your success stories in marketing tools. In online, contract a digital marketing agency to enhance your online presence, which is in the database. When you do this, maintain your
I understand the logic.
So it's time.
Yeah. But I didn't understand that you went into the details on the slides at the end, but before that you recommended forget Poland and forget Russia or postpone it, make a lot of money in the Near East or in Singapore and the United States, and maybe later after a few years when you're strong enough, try to move to Russia and Poland. But okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Number 5.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We are Group 5, and my name is Shinpei. Thank you for coming today, Abu-san. My colleagues is Stephanie, Domenico, and Farha, and Ali on the end. Today we are going to introduce our market, Saudi Arabia, UAE. And actually we are final presenter today, so of MBA module. So maybe you can enjoy and find something from our presentation, I hope. Okay, let me introduce our presentation order. First, I'm gonna do introduction very briefly and the recommendation, which is including almost what we want to say today, and market research, where and why to go by Stephanie, and some implementing strategy from Andy Taha. And to summarize very briefly. Introduction. Yes, as you probably know, first 2 points. Limited Hungarian market, and second point is lack of clear international expansion strategy. These 2 points is main key point. So now Multipass they are going to penetrate new market. Actually, they have some business already in Saudi Arabia, but they are thinking now Saudi Arabia and UAE. The mixture point is especially Saudi Arabian market. The population and GDP is much higher than Hungarian market. Recommendations. Yes, recommended market. We can say both Saudi Arabia and UAE are very attractive market now because of their economic blooming now. But very high competition and maybe you will have some challenges as well. Entry strategy. Yes, this is our suggestion. You should work, you should work as a software vendor first. It means you should find very ideal partner. And also, developing partner relationship is very important. And third point, preparing for the expansion. Yes, improving the internal capability is key point. Again, important to manage, in order to manage partner and business development as well. And find a reliable consulting firm can be helpful because in order to find a ideal partner as well, again, and in order to conflict with partner also. And sales and strategic marketing activities should be needed for expansion more. Okay, Stephanie will provide some marketing research.
So I'm gonna bring the whole picture start from the macro environment, economic situation. For the first two on table, we can see actually
For both countries, Saudi Arabia and UAE, actually, the GDP growth, GDP and unemployment rate also show on these two tables, and it's kind of the consistent and healthy performance. So we think these two countries is a good choice to enter. The second one, you can see most of the contribution to GDP for both countries start from the industries, basically from around 60%. So I would like to start from the down part. For both countries, the mobile penetrations actually for both countries, per person owns 1.5 to 2 mobile devices. So it's quite high penetration for both countries. Then we go back to the first smartphone trend in Middle East. For the blue column, it shows the smartphone user because it's good for in vitro, this product. So actually, it's quite stable and increasing quite a lot for the future. So we see it's a very potential to regions, two countries. Then narrow down to the industrial environment, there's some specific sectors we would like to suggest Multipass can go focus on these sectors first. Government and banking, finance, security, insurance, these two they have the experience, so we think still need to focus on these two first. And the gas and oil, which means utility in these two countries, we all know it's quite popular and very good industry to enter. Even though the telecommunication is very short percentage, but talking about in vitro, we still think there's a room for in vitro to enter this specific industry. So we recommended all the industry, government, banking, finance, security, insurance, utility, and telecommunication. And we also list out 8 criteria for Multipass to go into these two countries. because all these 8 criteria is the local enterprise looking for their IT providers. But we would like to focus this one. You should be innovative, customer focused, value driven, financial sound, and this local base I would like to highlight. Doesn't mean you necessarily need to have an operation in local, and my colleague will explain further through like partnership. The final slides for my part, I would like to say actually, you're not alone in this existing market, because there's still a lot of middleware software, and this segment is quite crowded. So take into concern maybe it's highly competition in this market. I will go to entry strategy.
In terms of the entry strategy that we believe Multipass should take, we recommend that you work as a software vendor, as Yuka has already mentioned, and develop a relationship with the partners. We understand that there are 2 approaches that you could take. You could either be an IT service provider or be a software vendor. This, however, is heavily reliant on the market that we are concerned with, because UAE and Saudi Arabia and the Middle East as a whole is very relationship oriented. It's based on building trust, and it takes a lot of time. So if you look at the positive and negatives of both the models, if you're looking at IT service provider, it gives you the flexibility to work across the different technologies. You can exploit local opportunities as well as use the cross and upselling opportunities. However, as we mentioned, based on the market, this is an intangible service. So it will take a lot of time. It's supposed to be based on trust, necessity to establish local branches, and you need local and valuable references available in the region, in Saudi Arabia or UAE, in order to penetrate the market. So this is, initially, in the beginning, this is going to be slightly difficult as compared to a software vendor model, because this is a tangible product. It gives you the ability to easily convince them, show them what you have. Once you have sold the product, then you have you've gained a certain market share, you've penetrated the market, then you can look into cross-selling your IT services, the consulting. So you need to get into the market first. Another positive of this is that the financial risks are mitigated by this due to the absence of recurring costs like hiring local people and renting a place, etc. The cons are not something which is very different. I mean, it's a very common thing, sharing revenues with the local partners and investing continuously in the improvement of the software of the product itself. Looking at how we select the partners, there are certain fundamental criteria that we need to look at. As Peter had also mentioned, that you look into the size of the partners, which is similar to what the size of Multipass is. They should have some relevant experience in the same industry and in providing the same solution, managerial, organizational competency, skills, and HRM. However, site location is an important consideration to make. They are relatively big regions, so it would be feasible and advisable to move into regions which are which have more potential. For example, if you take UAE, we believe you should focus starting from Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and Sharjah. And for Saudi Arabia, you already have a partner in Riyadh, which is the capital, and then you move on to Jeddah and to Dammam. So these are the 3 main regions. Then the other ones are relatively smaller. Unique issues concerned with both these are, for example, for UAE, there is low transparency in the partner. What we mean to say by this is that for you to select a partner, it's a little difficult to gauge the credibility of the partner and how good and important they are in the sector, because their financial details, how successful they are, is not readily available. This detailed contract clause, the commercial agency law, is applicable both in UAE and Saudi Arabia, where it says that you need to have a principal, it's a principal commercial relationship that you need. You need a partnership with a local partner in the region. Cultural gap is not that much when you talk about UAE. It is a Muslim country, but it's pretty much westernized, so that's not much of an issue. However, for Saudi Arabia, there is low patent awareness. The software could easily be copied. This is not something which is very, and we have sources for this. We will provide this government-backed source which says that there is low patent awareness. It is a strictly Islamic culture. there are few, for example, you look at the calendar, this is the only country in the world where the weekend is different from the rest of the world. Thursday and Friday is the weekend there. So you cut your working days to 3 days out of the week. Saturday and Sunday, the rest is closed. Thursday, Friday, Saudi Arabia is closed. You have to look at Ramadan, which is the fasting month, which comes in July this year. So the number of hours are reduced, the working hours are reduced from 8 to 6 hours, and there's some other things available there. Okay, in terms of the relationship development, you should concentrate on certain potential customers through your partners. We identify the sectors which are already identified by you, and we confirm that these are the places that you need to go into, finance, insurance, telecommunication, etc. These are some of the companies that we have identified. You have Saudi Arabian British Bank, Saudi American Bank, and some insurance companies. Some of the companies are both existent in Saudi Arabia as well as in UAE. We have a more comprehensive list which we will attach while we review the report. If you manage to get into 2 or 3 of these companies in Saudi Arabia and UAE, I mean, you will do really well. As we say, that it's based on relationship building. There should be some certifications in order to build your credibility when the organization, the partners want to work with you. They should be confident of your abilities and capabilities as an organization. Some points to touch on in terms of the work culture. Arabic is the business language, however, English is widely spoken. Still, it would be advisable if we could have some Arabic speakers in the country. Again, this is basically, it's easier to build a relationship with someone of the same language. Face-to-face meetings is what they prefer, so doing it remotely is not very advisable. You have your partners who are doing this for you, but you also need someone from Multipass to go on and off and show them your presence. They're very hospitable, not really punctual, so that's something you have to keep in mind. Interruptions during meetings are very common. You have one-on-one meetings, people will walk in and he will start to talk to him, but I mean that's something which is really uncommon. Management style is strictly paternalistic. There is a hierarchy there. All the major decisions lie with the top of management. So I'll just move on to give it to Andy to talk about it.
Thank you, Taha. So I want to talk about preparation for expansion. Every time, everywhere, when we start going, we need to prepare. So I have in my hand one of the concerns that you just mentioned for the previous team, and I hope I can address your concerns during my part. So we're going to talk about preparation. There are 3 bullet points. The critical point I want to talk about is improving the internal capability is important. We're also suggesting you to have to build a relationship with a management consulting firm, and also we're gonna give you some suggestions for sales and marketing activity, and that we think may be helpful for you when you go to this region. Internal capability, of course, we are talking about human resource. That's the key thing, and also that's your concern as well, as my understanding. You need to. Our team, we think you need to expand more the management team now. As we understand, the CEO Peter, he has to fly all over the world to deal with customers. And you take charge of Singapore and South Asia, but it's more about sales directions. So you also are part of the management team. But we're thinking now we're expanding in different regions. So we think you need to have more people, more human resources in this management team in order to effectively manage and control the operations in different areas of the world. We're also suggesting you to have sales engineer. As we understand from your company, mostly of your staff is technical based. So once you have to deal with customer, you need to be, as my friend mentioned, you need to be customer focused, especially in this area. They need trust, they need credibility, they need to trust on you. So someone needs to be sales engineer who understand also the sales and deal with customer. And as my friend mentioned, Arabic speaker is more preference, more preferred. We also give a suggestion on organizational structure. We are introducing a new team, we call it partners team, who take care of partnerships in different countries, different regions, with the 4 main duties of dealing with, specifically dealing with partnerships, controlling them, managing partnership, rather than just leave one person to take care of everything. There are a lot of potential risks if we need to manage carefully. So this is the suggested organizational structure. This is the current one, business development, consulting and product development. And this is how we suggested. Business development team needs to work closer to the CEO, and the partner team will be a part of business development. Business development team will take charge of looking for opportunity, business opportunity in different countries and regions, and then partner team will take care of managing the partnerships. As we're saying, partnership is very critical for the region, so that's why we're suggesting this team. Also, another idea we are suggesting is based on my friend's experience. He's been working for management consulting in 6 years, and he's saying there's opportunity. You can talk, and you can get opportunity by getting contact with the big management consulting company, PwC, Deloitte, Accenture. It's hard. We have to say it's difficult, but he has seen cases. So once you get in touch with this company, you have a pool of clients. That's a huge opportunity. You can shorten the time to build the trust and credibility of your company. So we hope. I mean, we're saying it's tough, but it's worth to try. And talking about all of the relationship we are suggesting now, here is the overall overview of the relationship model. We're suggesting you consulting company business partners. So by having said that, we're saying you can both contact with management consulting companies and also find yourself a partner in Saudi Arabia and UAE. And also you can get in touch with clients through exhibition, trade shows. I believe that that's the thing you're doing now. So we think by managing and get support from other sides and parties in your business relationship, we hope that can help and to strengthen your relationship in this region. Sales and marketing suggestions. Basically, we based on 4P for this presentation. So in terms of product, we're suggesting you can develop further your software and your applications. Here are an example. CMX, we can develop the standard adapters. In Vito, we can have a pre-customized before going to the customer. So that is something we already well prepared. When we come and demonstrate to the customer, you will win just better. Pricing, we're suggesting license fee based, and also for in Vito, because in Vito is applying for based on the number of users as we understood. So we're suggesting based on the different package of number of user. For example, 100 user, you provide a different package of a price. Higher number of that, we can offer a lower price, for example. Place, as we say, the main distribution channel in this region is partnership, and also we want to use the website. We're suggesting you to use the website as a supporting channel. We were suggesting you to develop the website as an integration portal with your customer. Now, customer don't have to phone for you. Maybe they can have a capability to talk with you online based on the website. And also develop the website more customer oriented. And promotion, free, just an idea, free license for the first 10 users. Just maybe an idea to promote the product. The idea of sales management, we are saying try to create as many leads as possible. And by qualifying leads, don't go for everyone. Be selective and qualify those based on the criteria that we provided, and try to clarify the needs of your client, the potential clients, and then be prepared for the proposal, for the pitch, and then win the sales. We also made here a detail of the timeline, how you can go for a trade show and exhibition by time, what you should do, what you need to do before and after. And here's also the list of all the events on this year in these two countries, trade show and exhibition, and we hope you can make use of this event for your business. And that's it for presentation. Now, should I?
Okay, let me summarize very briefly. Okay, I'd like to remind only 4 points. And one is, yes, both to market is very attractive now. Maybe you can go now. And second point, but you should do the software vendor as a first. So it means partnership is very practical way for approach this market. And fourth point, yes, networking and relationship building is very important as well. But maybe you will have challenges. Point is, 3 points. Culture differences, as mentioned, language and communication style. And regulation, maybe you will have some limitations. And competition, very, very high now. Okay, this is our presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the presentation. I will have a few questions in order of the presentation. First of all, why did you limit your analysis to these two particular countries?
It's basically, it's Middle East, but there's a focus in UAE and Saudi Arabia. It's mentioned in brief as well. So that's why we focused primarily on these two countries. There's just another country which you could focus on, that's Qatar, which is kind of similar to this, but the others do not have that much potential. Keeping in mind the resources you have, you should concentrate on these two at the moment. And once you have penetrated these markets, you think that there is nothing else that you could do further in these two regions, then maybe you could look at Qatar and the others. So for immediate and in the short term as in 4 or 5 years, you shouldn't really try to focus on other regions.
Okay, that's fair enough. Well, it would have been nice to see some outline of the other countries as well.
No problem, we can work on that.
What you said, you had a chart with software vendor compared with service provider. Did you think about cloud solutions in that way?
It depends on the nature of the software that you're selling. Clearly, SIM is not a software which is suitable to be used as a cloud service, but in Vito is more a software that can be adapted in this way. Anyway, what we wanted to say in this slide is that basically in Hungary you have two different kinds of services. You are selling products, you are selling software, but you are also acting as an IT service provider, which is actually your main source of revenue. This is probably not a viable approach in a new market, basically because you have limited capabilities, also financial capabilities. If you want to penetrate such a different market like Saudi Arabia and the UAE, you have to set probably a local branches, you have to hire local people because you have to deeply go into local culture, and that's not a viable alternative. Probably approaching this market first as a software vendor, selling your product, and maybe once your product have been spread enough during that market, try to cross-selling other kinds of services. It's a more suitable approach, given your situation, given your limits, given your capabilities at the moment. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, one more question about the cultural aspect. And there was one thing a bit contradictional for me, but maybe you can just solve it. You said that in this culture, trust, face-to-face interactions, local presence, personal relationships is a must. However, you were suggesting to go through partners. Can you do that through your partner? I mean, can you get the trust if you are not there? You just have someone who is there and working for you.
The first point is that you can't get into that market without a partner. So that is a legal requirement. You need to have a partner. So that is something which you cannot avoid. So that's why you have to concentrate on the partner. Building the relationship, the partner is going to do it
partly on your behalf, but that's why I also mentioned that it would be advisable if there is some presence from Multipass as well. Presence not as in a local branch over there, but people like Peter is traveling there often. So if there's someone like yourself, you're concentrated on Singapore, you travel there often. So you should have someone like that for Saudi Arabia or UAE as well, who's there when the customer needs you. He could see, okay, this is Multipass, this is an employee from Multipass. So it's something to back up the partner with. So that's the whole point behind it.
But my question was more like, should the partner be called Multipass? or can be another company?
We think
You
that
know what
we
I
should,
mean?
you should, sorry to interrupt, you want to finish your question or?
No,
may I
that's
answer?
just
I think the integration, the service of the system integration should be should be given to your partners, and in this way your partners should act with their brands like their company. While you in this market you should keep just the role of the software vendor, and that's why web also suggests an organizational improvement, setting a specific partners team which will take care and will select very careful local partners according to technical criteria, but also credibility, trust of local companies and other kind of criteria. And you also have to monitor constantly how your partners are implementing your software, if the final clients are satisfied with the implementation of the software, because of course you provide the software, but the software has to be customized. It's not like a Microsoft Office, it's not a business to customer software which can be sold like it has been developed. It has to be customized in every company, and this is the part of the software implementation which I think in a first phase it should rely on your partners completely. Even as a brand, your partners shouldn't act as a multipass, like a fake multipass branch, but they should act with their own brands. But of course you should
well, it didn't mean
certify
fake.
that.
I would say that it could be a joint venture or whatever. And the question is that does it first in the cultural approach?
Yeah, I mean, there are companies like even IBM is there, Microsoft is there. They're not there alone. They are with a partner, and they use both names. It's Microsoft and another bank. It's like you have the HSBC. HSBC is a bank which works there as Saudi Arabian British Bank. So I mean, it is kind of a merger, kind of an alliance, but it's not really a joint venture. But both partners using both their names. So that is also
It's
possible.
quite common model in the software market that the software vendor certify specific partner in specific area in order to endorse the specific software system integrator to sell their product. It happens with major companies, but it happens also with companies of your dimension which provide software which are not widespread. We are not speaking about Oracle, we are not speaking about SAP. It happens with software. For instance, there is a software Sugar CRM which provides certification of system integrator for each country. And I've seen in my experience that there are 3-4 certified partners in Italy. There was a company who wanted to implement that software, and we chose between their certificate partners as they were suggested on their website.
Okay, fair enough.
Thank you. Anne?
Yeah, it's an interesting issue that's been raised, about capabilities and kind of representation in a way, particularly as you kind of, raise some interesting cultural differences and about whether a company has the resources to understand and to work with those differences, which could be a capability and eventually put a company in a really good place to have them. But if you don't have them at the moment, then yes, it sounds very feasible in what we might be suggesting. I was quite interested in the organisational structure, and I was going to ask Agoston whether you see the structure that way at Multipass, in the way that it represented it. Because it always appears to me that it's a flat structure that you want and that you want to represent. Even the CEO, he seems, the way he was talking, you're on a level somehow, but he just happens to have that role. Would that be
that's true.
correct? So it's quite interesting what you're wanting to, and how you want to represent your company. So it probably would be flatter, than that what's being presented, which is a more distributed leadership. Yeah, because I think that's really interesting in how that might look, and it's a new way of thinking about leadership, a new way of thinking about organisational structures. But
This entities don't want to be a representation based on hierarchy, but more on a functional representation of all the
Yeah, I can
areas
see
that you
that.
have
Yeah.
identified within Multipass.
Yeah, I can see that, and that's quite an interesting add-on, the kind of partners into the business design, which I think is interesting. But still, when we represent figuratively like that, we still look in hierarchical ways. If the company wants to represent itself in a different way, somehow we have to represent that figuratively for them, which would help. It's interesting.
I agree with them that organization structure is really important, but maybe it's possible to make it a little bit more dynamic because it's a static approach to organization. It would be interesting to see how these units work together. So if a lead is identified somewhere at the partner, then what happens, how the message gets through the other units of the company, how they cooperate, who will be responsible for what. For me, it looks to be a front office, back office system because the partners represent the front office and they face the customer every day, but they simply cannot work without the help of product development and consulting. So it is not enough to see only the static organization, but the process is important as well and how the units combine their efforts and how they cooperate. Another former comment from me that the slideshow will be used by Multipass, and it's possible that people who were not here will have a look at it. And I think that the slides might be more self-understandable and can be improved a lot. I remember one of your slides, and the title was "The General Situation in Multipass." And what I saw on the slide was the map of Saudi Arabia. So if somebody who was not here reads it, maybe think that Multipass is a Saudi Arabian company, or they moved the headquarters to this country, and they simply do not understand why the map of Saudi Arabia is on this slide. And the statistics were very, very important, I think, for both countries, penetration statistics and others. But sometimes I did not know what is on the vertical and what is on the horizontal axis. Penetration, for example, and I saw that it was 150 what? Mobile phones per person, or it's the market penetration of some technologies. So I think that it's important to work more professionally with data and statistics, but I know that it takes some time. Otherwise, the presentation was very informative for me because I do not know too much about these countries, so practically everything was new for me and very, very interesting. Agustin would like to make some final comments about what you think of this type of cooperation, that British business school is coming here with many, many students and they simply occupy Multipass for a few days. Did that allow you to work, take of your time?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea for both of us. I mean, I guess for you it's interesting to visit a country like Hungary and to see a company which is relatively small and does something which is invented locally but try to have a global effect. And on the other hand, for us it's quite interesting to see how you see our company, and you are from 20 plus countries, and all of you represent another way of thinking, another approach to how to look at the company, and you have better cultural understanding in your multinational teams about our target markets than we have probably. So at the beginning I was afraid that we will get some standard reports, yeah, go, no go, if you go, do that. But like how I see now, you could really provide reasonable issues and suggestions to us. So it's really helpful and valuable for us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Excellent. Thank you.
Well, I suppose what I want to say is what I've observed of this group and this whole team is, you know, your commitment to the task and your dedication to the work and taking the company's problems very seriously. And yes, you know, you're very talented people from different perspectives, and it's quite interesting to see how when you apply that knowledge in a practical context, for me, I get to see, you know, what could be a very academic exercise we put into practice, and using that balance between, you know, theory and practice and experience. I you know, thoroughly kind of you've done a really good job.
Yeah, I confirm that you are MBA students, so your main goal is, and it's actually understandable, is learning. But it was a practical exercise, and we think that these practical exercises are really, really important because they represent a transition to the real world again. Because you left your companies at the beginning of your studies, started to learn, and you analyzed everything, you evaluated everything from the point of view of learning. But by these exercises, we try to help our students to go back to the real world, and maybe what is the most difficult here is to think with the head of the customer and separate your learning experience from what is important for the customer. Because it's possible that you learn something about Central and Eastern Europe, for example, and it can be important for you because you came from Peru or you came from Taiwan, and everything you saw here is new. But you have to think of with the head of the customer as well, that maybe what I learned is absolutely irrelevant for this guy because he lives here and the specs are well known by him. Or these guys are engineers, software developers that never heard about Michael Porter, for example, and they never heard about Hofstede. and it's important to explain them that what is relevant in these models for you. So it is really difficult to change your mind and go back to the real world and think with the head of the customers, the managers.
Okay. Otherwise, I enjoyed very much this exercise. It was great to work with you, and I hope that we can continue this cooperation. And I think that now we all deserve a good champagne at the end of this project.
Andrea, thank you very much.
Hello, organising. In terms of your presentation, this company would like a copy, as would the CEU, and also you're doing a management report which doesn't have